Oh, baby, baby, how was I supposed to know that I was gonna get so fat? Oh, baby, baby, I shouldn't have let you go. Blee, 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 blee. Show me what you want me to be. Juicy fat rolls. Blee, 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 blee. My big fat rolls are killing me, and I must confess, I'm so freaking fat, so freaking fat. When I'm not eating, I lose my mind. Give me some fries. Feed me cheeseburgers 10 more times. My big fat rolls are killing me. And blee, 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 blee. Blee, 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 blee. Blee, 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 blee. Blee, 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 blee. Blee, 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 blee. Hi, welcome to the chat food. So right now we're checking out, we're looking for things of brainwashing. There's really no plans. Oh, maybe X hamster. I mean, not X. I meant to say bird. X Twitter. My big fat rolls are killing me. So what is Anatolio saying today? Blee, 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 blee. Blee, 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 blee. Blee, 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 blee. Blee, 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 blee. So we got here, what is, let's, Twitter X for content for brainwashing sounds super interesting. Let's see. Bleep, 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 bleep. What? That is the weirdest thing I have seen on freaking Twitter X. That's so why. Is it normal that my own videos come out first? Oh. No, this is boring. Let's stay on YouTube. Bleep, 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 bleep. My big fat rolls are killing me. Let's check out some brainwashing techniques today. Let's see. Oh, this is fun. Let's check this out.
Are you ready to stop guessing and to start?
Come on, ads.
Sleep deprivation and manipulation. Sleep deprivation can impair cognitive functions and make individuals more susceptible to suggestion.
That's incredibly important. So we started right off of good path. So One thing that I remember when that happened during my entire gang stalking is that I was getting hit up by people all the time, and it honestly just felt like I was being constantly trapped. I felt like there were people actively trying to keep me away, which was the craziest thing. Okay, so let's go. Let's keep playing this thing.
At rest, their ability to critically evaluate information is diminished, making them more prone to accepting indoctrination. Example, interrogators might use sleep deprivation to break down a prisoner's mental resistance
Yeah.
and induce compliance or confession. Fear. Fear is a powerful motivator that can be used to control and manipulate individuals. By creating an atmosphere of fear, brainwashers can make individuals more pliable and
That's exactly what happens in gang stalking. That's exactly it. It's insane how easy that actually is done to people. It's super insane.
obedient. Example, a regime might use the threat of punishment, torture, or harm to the individual or their loved ones to enforce conformity and obedience.
Emotional. This technique exploits individuals' emotions to manipulate their beliefs and behaviors. It can involve playing on guilt, love, shame, or other strong emotions. Example, a manipulative person might use guilt tripping to control their partner, making them feel responsible for the manipulator's happiness. Hypnosis. Hypnosis involves inducing a
crazy.
trance-like state in which an individual is more open to suggestions and less critical of new information. This can be used to implant new ideas or beliefs. Example, some self-help groups or therapists might use hypnosis to help individuals adopt new habits or beliefs, although ethical standards must be maintained.
That's interesting. Oh, I'm having a problem with the software. Hang on. So docs, chat, here we go. My software is being super weird today. Docs, reset docs, here we go. And reset docs and show chat. So we got Rodrigo. Hey Rodrigo, how are you? What's up? Hey, it's so good that we're hanging out. I didn't expect you to be here. That's pretty cool. Good to see you, mate. But yeah, I totally agree with you on the whole thing about fear. Why is my software is being super weird right now? Oh, here we go. I got it. Here we go. Pleasure to meet you, Rodrigo.
Deception. This involves presenting false information as truth or manipulating facts to deceive the individual. This technique aims to control the individual's perception of reality.
That is the one thing that happens primarily in gang stalking is the perception of reality that is being manipulated. When you are a targeted individual, when you are harassed by a bunch of people, like that's the one thing about gang stalking that most people don't understand is that when you are a targeted individual, there are so many people that are actively participating in gang stalking that they literally create a perception for you. It's the craziest thing. Like it's like imagine if you're hanging out and you're by yourself and you have like your self-esteem well made. Like I'm gonna tell you something that actually happened to you. That have actually happened to me. So I have always, been incredibly fit. I have modeled. I've been a fitness professional for 10 years. And all of a sudden I had a bunch of people tell me that I was a drug addict for like years. And guess what? I developed a drug addiction, which is insane. So now I don't. That's like part of the past now. But I developed it because I literally had a bunch of people tell me that all day, every day. And what I did is that like the moment that I left that environment, I came back to normal. Like I came back to normal as soon as I left that environment. If you, whoever you are, you want to make sure that the people that surround you are not actively pushing a narrative about you that you don't like. It's insane. It's really insane. It's like when now, I'm not sure if you have checked out, but there's a lot of people, especially today, that said you're schizophrenic, take your meds. That's actually gaslighting. It makes you change. It makes you lose the right perception of who you are. Yeah, you lose your sense of reality. It is hurtful. They shame you for being you. It's the most disappointing thing to realize how they messed up. People, yeah. So one thing that I have to tell you guys is that I lived for a couple of years. I literally had people come close to me, and they were literally like if they were gonna throw up for like a year. And then all of a sudden, people were like, "Ew!" Like when I would walk by, like I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating. And I began to feel like disgusted of myself. It was insane because I literally had a bunch of people going, ugh, like if I was disgusting. And I began second guessing everything that I do, which was insane, dude.
Example. Propaganda often uses deception to shape public opinion and beliefs, presenting biased or false information as...
That's exactly what's happening. So this is important to the targeted individuals if you have the belief of direct energy weapons. So there is a perception about targeted individuals that is actually being put out. Notice that all the videos and all the gang stalking channels are spammed with messages about direct energy weapons. Have you noticed that there is a lot of people talking about direct energy weapons in every single gang stalking chat? Like you can see it, you can see it. But you know, if you wouldn't know the truth, you would be completely blindsided by it. So that is how the perception of us targeted individuals is being shaped. You know what I mean? And only until there's enough information about gang stalking, and only until enough people actually know what it is and how it works, only then targeted individuals are gonna stop being seen as kind of out of their mind. To be honest, the whole thing with the word of the targeted individual, I feel like if it has a negative connotation, I honestly do not think that we should be calling ourselves targeted individuals. Because even though it's a correct word, it feels like it has a negative connotation. So I honestly do not know how to call it, but I just know that it is what it is.
Uses deception to shape public opinion and beliefs, presenting biased or false information as fact. Dehumanization. Dehumanizing an individual involves stripping away their sense of identity and humanity, making them feel worthless or subhuman. This can break down their self-worth and resistance to control.
Gang stalking. Did any one of you guys experience dehumanization as part of your gang stalking? Like, I honestly felt like it just felt weird for me. But I did feel like I was like less than human, to be honest.
Example. Abusive regimes might use dehumanizing tactics to make prisoners feel powerless and more susceptible to indoctrination.
Charisma.
Rodrigo Gropelli saying, yes, I do. It's insane. So if you ever want to share anything, so Rodrigo is saying, I don't even know who I am anymore. You know, it's crazy because that's a lot more common than you can possibly imagine. Because the same thing happened to me. The exact same thing happened to me. I'm going to put this screen here so that we can see the chat. Because it stays recorded, and that way we can check it out whenever we're hanging out. Or whenever, if anyone checks out the video after it's live, they can see the chat right here. So, okay, so we're going to move on. But yeah, so Chap is saying, I remember the first time I witnessed someone being mobbed at work when I was 18. They were messing with him because he was gay. He was totally alone and isolated. That's what it is. It's pretty much what it is. And the thing about not knowing who you are, that applies to me too. I literally didn't remember who I was, and I got to the point where I saw pictures of myself, and I honestly wasn't able to feel connected to the person who I was in the past, and that is one of the craziest things. That seeing a picture of myself and be like, that does not look like me. Like it was like it felt like it was another person. I almost didn't feel like him. Like now I feel like myself, but I feel like I'm getting closer to who I was supposed to be. And I'm sorry that happened to your friend, Chap. That's awful.
Charismatic leader can use their personal appeal and persuasive communication skills to influence and manipulate followers. This method relies on the emotional and psychological attraction to the leader. Example, cult leaders often possess strong charismatic traits that attract and manipulate followers into adopting their beliefs and following their directives. Stopping. This involves teaching
And that hurt,
individuals
man.
to stop
I know,
their
yeah.
own critical or negative
It's crazy.
thoughts about the brainwasher's teachings, often through repetition or other psychological techniques. Example, repeating a mantra or engaging in a specific behavior whenever negative thoughts arise, as seen in some high control group.
Did you guys hear that? Repeating a mantra? Or what else?
Stopping. This involves teaching individuals to stop their own critical or negative thoughts about the brainwasher's teachings, often through repetition or other psychological techniques.
So stopping your own thoughts when, like, instead of thinking about gang stalking, you have to actively stop those thoughts, which is it's one of the hardest things to do because you have to develop an insane awareness of what you are thinking at all times. And only until you have developed that awareness, only then you are going to be able to see how your mind works. Rodrigo is saying, and that hurt, man. I know. Chap says, I remembered who I was when it was happening. I know they were trying to get me to question it, but I never did. I felt rejected, not appreciated, and unloved. Yeah, that's exactly how it feels. I felt the exact same way. It's the exact same way. And the thing is that, did you ever notice that it felt more like, did it feel like more like envy to you? Like, didn't it feel like envy? Like, to be honest, like, whenever I would be, like, I have always, so this is going to sound like I am full of myself, and I apologize in advance, but, I have always have been really, really fit. and whenever I would be working out, I would literally have the gang stalkers look at me and almost be like, ugh. Like, a lot of their behavior felt like envy. A lot of it. And and it is not necessarily that I am full of myself, but I recognize what I had. And it literally felt like it was a lot of envy because I have always had like really nice cars and a bunch of things, like things in my life were going really well. And I had gotten a lot of hate for that, which is insane. And it just literally feels like it was out of hate. I feel like it was a campaign out of hate. And let's see. I remember. They treated me like a commodity that could be bought or sold for SE. It was the worst. I'm so sorry that you went through that. That's crazy. Chat, they like to isolate us. Yes, they do, Rodrigo. I know some of them was envy for sure. There is envy. I feel like it is mostly jealousy and envy, to be honest. That's just how it feels for me. And it is what it is. The one thing is that regardless of what it is, like now that I know what gang stalking is, it's like now that I know what gang stalking is, how it works, and what it's meant to do, I feel that experience literally has fueled my drive to actually be better. It literally is the one fuel that I get every day to be better than I was yesterday, and that is spite is one of the strongest medicines, I guess, because you use things that people have done against you to help you, and that's how I feel. Um, dark energy is one of the most powerful energy because it can fuel you for years. The let's see, Chop, they like to isolate us. I know some of them was envy and jealousy. It's insane. Thank you guys for being here, by the way. I feel like this evening stream is super helpful because we just kind of, it feels like we have a good almost like releasing the tension of the day. Like today's stream in the morning was hard. I was so exhausted. But okay, so let's go.
Example, repeating a mantra or engaging in a specific behavior whenever negative thoughts arise, as seen in some high control groups.
I'm finally able to process it after all of these years finding the TI community, and I am recognizing who deeply wounded I am because of it. Who is how? Who? Recognizing how deeply I would. No, it's insane, and you really do lose track of who you are. You really, really do.
Applying consistent and intense psychological or social pressure can force individuals to conform to new beliefs or behaviors.
Gangstalking, social pressure.
And societal
Gangstalking is literally social pressure. Gangstalking is literally social pressure. Rodrigo is saying, I never find any real community. The thing about most of those communities, it's primarily people that are pushing the wrong narrative. That are calling you schizophrenic, that are telling you stop the drugs, or that are trying to push the gang stalking narrative. These streams, for some reason, they attract the right people. Like Chap is here, and you are here. Guys, you should guys get to know each other, like chat in the chat, because I get really good vibes from both of you guys. I feel like you guys will get along really well.
forms are common forms of this tactic. Example, high-pressure sales tactics often involve overwhelming the buyer with urgency and fear of missing out, pushing them to make decisions
Coming
they
from
wouldn't
sales.
normally consider. Force, the use of physical coercion or threats to induce compliance and acceptance of new beliefs. This often involves direct and aggressive methods to break down resistance. Example, political prisoners may be subjected to physical torture to force confessions or ideological conversion.
That's insane.
Isolation. Isolating individuals from their social
Hello.
support systems and familiar environments can make them more dependent on the brainwasher for information and emotional support.
That's the same thing. It's more gang stalking. It's once you analyze gang stalking and learn about brainwashing, you start seeing a lot of connections. A lot of things start making sense. And the thing is that because there is really not a lot of actual helpful information about gang stalking out there, that one really doesn't know how to deal with it. One just simply does not understand. Which is the intent. The craziest thing is that there has never been information, because everyone is always scared of sounding like a crazy person. And that's why they do not talk about it. They tried intimidation and threats too. That's crazy. That's so crazy.
This dependence can be exploited to instill new beliefs. Example, cults often isolate members from their families and friends to strengthen their control over the members' beliefs and behaviors. Gradualism. Gradualism involves slowly introducing new ideas and behaviors over time. This incremental approach makes the changes less noticeable and more acceptable to the individual. Example, a
They're more
manipulative
confusion
partner
fear.
might
I totally
slowly
agree.
introduce controlling behaviors, which gradually become more severe, making it harder for the victim to even recognize the extent of the manipulation.
Remember I said 4 minutes in the title? Well, the video is over and I just used this sentence to fill in the last few seconds, so it'll be 4 minutes.
So one of the things that is insane is that, did any of you guys believe in directed energy weapons? Like, did any of your gang stalking get there? About the narrative of directed energy weapons? Or was it only I? This looks interesting. Let's see. No, I never experienced. That's good. Okay, so notice that. So this is one thing that. Did you guys notice that there is an actual effort on the videos of people saying directed energy weapons are real? Have you guys seen that? Like, have you guys noticed the actual weird effort of people insisting that directed energy weapons are real? So, gangstalking literally makes you so unable to understand your reality that when you go online. But I did fall for a mind control. What do you mean, Rodrigo? And everyone on the internet, absolutely everyone on the internet, and there are hundreds of websites for targeted individuals that are pushing the narrative of the CIA, of directed energy weapons, of a lot of harassment and electronic harassment. This narrative that is being pushed doesn't really exist, and I'm referring to the narrative of directed energy weapons. When you are harassed, there's going to be a point where your mind starts misbehaving. Your mind starts creating weird sensations. Your mind starts creating voices. And the thing is that when you read a lot of gang stalking and you start hearing voices, you become completely convinced that the voices are V2K because everyone on the internet is telling you that they are V2K. You are only seeing information about targeted individuals being harassed with directed energy weapons. And if you believe this and your mind is misbehaving and your mind is creating pains that you have never felt before, you are going to interpret the pain, the voices, as a directed energy weapon. Like, when your mind is misbehaving, it feels like someone is beaming some type of heat onto you. Like, it produces heat, sensations, voices, movements that make no sense. So the sensations that gang stalking produces on the target are meant to be misinterpreted as directed energy weapons. That is what you should be thinking, and that is how they make people crazy. The moment that you tell everyone, "Oh my God, I'm being harassed by the government," doesn't that sound insane? That sounds like you have gone crazy. You sound schizophrenic. I am having paranoid delusions because I am being harassed and I am being attacked 24/7 all the time by directed energy weapons. That that is what discredits targets, is the belief that the government is after them. Um, Targets get brainwashed by the internet to believe that directed energy weapons are actually being used on them. And that is the craziest thing. That's why I keep telling you, or I keep telling everyone, you have to prioritize sleep. You have to prioritize your mind. Your mind. Do not consume any illicit substances, regardless of how you feel that might help you. Just stop taking any type of illicit substances. Get hot and make money. That has to be your entire purpose. You have to stop thoughts about gang stalking, and you have to actively put thoughts of good things. You have to actively read. Do things that will keep your mind busy. Because if you are thinking about gang stalking, you are literally brainwashing yourself to become a target individual. So we have here And let's see, I don't know where people who were experiencing it coming from. About a quarter of the TI population said they experienced it, but some of there's gang stalking induced. It's so the whole thing with the direct energy weapons is a gang stalking induced psychosis. It's gang stalking induced. I lived it. Hacked, and all I was watching was manipulated. So I think it's kind of a mind control. So what made you think that your phone was hacked? I wanna know that. Like, what is it that made you feel that your phone was hacked? Tell me a little bit more about that. Because technology has hiccups, and someone actually hacking into your phone is highly unlikely. It's incredibly unlikely. But gang stalkers are actually pushing the narrative of your phone being hacked on purpose. And I felt that my phone was hacked by gang stalkers at one point, and I couldn't even play with myself and watch spicy content on my phone because I felt that everyone was watching what I was watching on my phone. Like when the gang stalking stops, the psychosis gets better. Rodrigo Gospel says, yes, it sounds insane. I know the feeling, Rodrigo. My SH, my shizzle was hacked too. They were extremely intrusive and aggressive. It's the way they are 5 steps ahead. I guess what makes you feel that they're 5 steps ahead? So, honestly, as long as you don't actually interact with people that are gang stalking you, the better. And you're gonna know when someone is messing with you to gang stalk you. You're gonna know. So they're really, so the only way to actually get out of it is when you are actively not communicating with people that are actually involved in your gang stalking harassment. Hey, what's up? And when I do, I always receive a text message from someone like, what are you doing? So, what if you stop replying to those messages? Have you ever tried doing that? And when I do, I always receive, I know every single move. Yes, it has me. It's where they are, 5 steps ahead. Honestly, if you're getting targeted, so when you're getting targeted, they literally are gonna do everything possible to keep tabs on you and to keep communicating with you. If you're getting targeted, the one thing that you have to understand is that these people are only feeding off what you tell them. So if you stop telling everyone don't tell anyone what you're doing, you have to work in silence. You literally have to work in silence. When you are targeted, finding friends is going to become really difficult for a while. You have to stop hanging out with most people for a good time, to be honest. At least that's my best advice. That's what worked for me. In my case, I had to actively separate from most people. I stopped talking to most people, dude. They knew. Went to my perfect info. People are dangerous because you don't know what they are saying. You don't know what they are saying, and people are believing it. Yeah, so there's a smear campaign, So what you have to do is that you have to keep busy. You just simply have to keep busy doing what you do, and not giving them any more fuel. That's what worked for me. That's literally what worked for me. That's actually what led me to the YouTube was because I can work and be fine. You know what I mean? Not actually have to deal with anyone that could possibly be a gang stalker. This was my exit for real. So is it because you feel like you can't trust them, or what do you mean?
Hello, soldiers. Professor Frontman here. Today we're going to talk about the interesting and intense topic of brainwashing. In this video, we'll break down how brainwashing works, the tricks used, and the serious effects it can have on people.
This is
We'll
gonna be
look at how
interesting.
brainwashing is.
Is it because you feel like, so I feel like I cannot trust. Well, I trust people. How do I say this? As of now, I'm incredibly selective with the people that I hang out with. So they have to be super busy, relentlessly chasing their dreams. It's my mom, or like my cousin, or like an aunt. That's it. Some people from high school that I have known for a while that I haven't seen in many years. But that's it. I don't hang out with anyone that is using any substances, and anyone that is not actively trying to improve their lives. And that's what I am doing. I am simply just staying away from most people that can impose any type of negative imposition on my character. Let's see. Yes, after your trust has been broken. Yeah, and yeah, your trust is broken all the time. Let's see. Chap Rodrigo says, I always try to help people till they do something weird. Yeah, so Rodrigo, you know one thing that I realized about helping people is that a lot of people, when you help them, they feel resentful because they start believing that you're better than them, and they start feeling resentful. So I stopped helping a lot of people. Well, I stopped helping the wrong people. You know what I mean? Like I used to help the wrong people all the time, and I feel like a lot of people, especially people, some people are just typically like abusive of help, and once you help them, then you hurt their pride. I always trust people, and that, like, I have always trusted people like immediately, and that's the one thing that I have missed is that I have just simply trusted the wrong people, and I didn't even realize it.
Different for individuals and groups, and go over the steps of breaking down and rebuilding a person's identity. Let's dive in and learn how manipulators use these methods to control and influence their victims. The process of brainwashing. Brainwashing can be different when used on individuals versus groups. Let's start by discussing these differences. It all begins with the victim's mental state and social circumstances, which are crucial for brainwashing to work.
Dude, his mask is amazing, dude. I cannot even tell if it's AI or if it's like an actual guy wearing the mask. The mask is bussin'.
Everyone can be brainwashed. It usually targets people with a void in their lives, often due to trauma or loss. For example, some Western men who became terrorists in Syria did so after losing a close friend or relative, looking for meaning in their disrupted lives. The brainwasher finds a suitable victim and starts the brainwashing process. Contrary to popular belief,
Yeah, I totally. There are still a lot of good people out there.
Instead,
It's just that
they are usually calm and
when you are targeted, the bad people surround you. You know what I mean? And it actually gives the impression that there's no good people left. That's what gangstalking changes your perception of the world to believe that most of the people are evil. And to be honest, it's wildly effective. It's wildly effective. I have always let the wrong ones in and allowed people to take advantage of me. I think I would just don't think that anymore. Yeah.
rational. They create trust and rapport by finding or faking common ground with their victims, such as sharing similar experiences or enjoying the same food or drink. Brainwashers also give gifts and favors, like meals, drinks, or electronics, to make the victim feel grateful and in debt. For instance, captured American troops during war might receive American-made cigarettes and respectful conversation from their captors, making them more open to brainwashing. Next, the brainwasher presents a perfect solution to the victim's problems in a casual way, avoiding pressure and making it easier for the victim to accept. This solution matches the ideology or personality the brainwasher wants to instill, whether it's terror.
Why is it moving over there? And the feeling, what is what they say, they surround you and they are friendly, calm, with one hand behind your back. Yeah, I totally agree.
Communism. or just for their own
it's
amusement.
hard to trust
The
people.
impact
You
of
know,
brainwashing.
a lot of the
Now,
people that I
let's look at the
actually
impact of brainwashing.
experienced
Brainwashing is a powerful
as a
process
friend
with
for a
lasting
long time
effects.
ended
The
up
most severe
participating, you know,
outcomes
and that is so
the loss of
heartbreaking in the
identity.
moment.
The victim becomes detached from their old self, doing things they would never have done before. It's as if their old self no longer exists. The victim's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors change dramatically. Another major effect is post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Those who manage to escape brainwashing often show the same psychological and physical symptoms as war veterans, highlighting the deep impact of brainwashing. A long-term effect of brainwashing is seen in cases where victims, even after being freed, return to their brainwashers. This behavior is known as Stockholm Syndrome. Victims continue to praise and justify their brainwashers and the ideas implanted in them during their captivity. Brainwashing tactics. Next, let's dive into the tactics used in brainwashing. Isolation. Isolation means keeping someone away from people or places. Brainwashers use this tactic to prevent others from interfering with their process. They isolate victims from friends, family, and peers to change the way they think. Fear and dependence. Fear is a powerful tactic in brainwashing. Brainwashers use fear to ensure obedience and loyalty. They can threaten harm to enforce the new identity they want to create. Love bombing. Love bombing involves the brainwasher creating a sense of family by bonding emotionally and sharing things with the victim. This makes it easier to implant ideas and create a new personality. Guilt. The brainwasher makes the victim believe that everything they do is wrong and that they are a bad person. Guilt creates doubt in the victim's beliefs and makes them seek redemption. Repetition. Repetition makes people more likely to accept a message. If someone...
What do we have in the chat? Hang on, where's my... There we go, that's better. Nothing private, sounds like my ex. Sounds like my ex, that's hysterical. Well, I always get it wrong, but so trying this around you, Cause you said we would have a place where we can talk as a private video chat. I think would be good for all. Sounds like, yeah. So, I was thinking.
Here's the same opinion enough times, they are more likely to believe it.
Of having
Brainwashers
a
use
little
repetition to convince their victims. Routine rituals. Brainwashers change the victim's routine to help them assume a new identity. They create new routines for the victim to follow. Physical activities. Brainwashers control the victim with tiring activities. Unlike sports, these activities aim to exhaust the victim, making it easier to implant ideological beliefs during moments of low resistance. Steps of brainwashing. Now, let's move on to the steps of brainwashing. Breaking down of self. The first step in brainwashing is breaking down the person's old identity, making them more open to a new one.
So, did your identity get... Whose identity was... who do you feel that your identity was broken? Like, I feel like the entire thing with gangstalking, I feel like my entire personality... Not my personality, but the way I see myself changed dramatically. Like, I literally stopped I stopped respecting myself for so long, you know, that it literally was just, I was actively destroying myself, and I didn't even realize when that actually happened, which is the craziest thing. It's like I couldn't believe I was actually doing such a thing. Have you ever watched the movie Misery? I have not watched that movie. It sounds fun though. It sounds good and miserable because of the name. What is that movie about? Should we check out the preview for the movie Misery? Let's check it out after this video.
The agent attacks the subject's sense of self, using guilt and self-betrayal until the subject reaches a breaking point. If the subject holds on to their old identity, the agent's efforts are less effective. Possibility of salvation. After breaking down the subject's self, the agent moved.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that I have always done is I always kept my level of identity. Like I never let go of me. You know what I mean? It's the one thing that you should never do if you're getting gang stalked is completely forget who you are, you know? And it's already bad as it is. Now imagine losing yourself completely.
To the next step. The subject can only be saved by rejecting their old self and beliefs and accepting the new ones offered. They are assured that everything will be okay if they follow the new path. This phase includes 4 steps: leniency, compulsion to confess, channeling of guilt, and release of guilt, rebuilding of self. By this stage, the subject has gone through emotional turmoil and is convinced they need to change their beliefs. The agent then helps the subject rebuild their identity, introducing new ideas or concepts. The subject, now a clean slate, is eager to learn how to feel better and be better. And that's it, soldiers. We've explored how brainwashing works, the tricks used, and the deep impact it has on people. By knowing about these techniques, you can better protect yourself and others from being controlled. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe.
So the gentleman is Professor Frontman. I want to subscribe because that was interesting. And I want to drop a like because that was good. So, let's see. There was a channel of a team of people that were actually profiling criminals. Oh no, film misery. So film. Which movie is it? So yes, I had one particularly energy I connected to. He was still abusive, but it was different. I was getting a little relief through emotional connections. Yeah, so emotional connections are one thing that is what you need the most, because you just feel like you're getting attacked at every single angle. Like it would relax everything, at least temporarily. Thinking of it, these situations and symptoms can come from different things or people. Thinking of these situations, yeah. Nice videos. All of this is abuse, violence. Yeah, it is. It's fight. It's aggression. It's literally aggression. Is it this movie that you guys are talking about, Misery? The one here on the screen? The movie from 1990? Every single angle of, yeah, it's insane. Yeah, because it's your mind. If your mind is attacked, you really, you know, it's in everything because your mind is everywhere. And this is the movie that we're talking about, guys. Misery. Let's see.
Why would you assume that there's a lake?
Is that what you guys are talking about?
You almost died. You have a compound fracture of the tibia in both legs, and the fibula in the right leg is fractured too. And as soon as the road's open, I'll take you to a hospital. In the meantime, you've got a lot of recovering to do.
There is nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine. I'm your #1 fan.
My name is Annie Wilkes.
Oh my gosh, she was so young.
Paul Sheldon might be in some kind of trouble.
You mean Paul Sheldon, the writer? Well, everybody sure likes those misery books.
We had it at the store, Paul.
They said he checked out last Tuesday. Isn't that a little strange?
I guess it was kind of a miracle you finding me.
In a way, I was following you.
You were following me?
Oh, Paul, I've read everything of yours, but the misery novels. You must be a good man. You could never have created such a wondrous, loving creature as Misery Chastain.
Very kind.
The presumption must now be that Paul Sheldon is dead.
You dirty bird. How could you? Misery Chastain cannot be dead.
Misery Spirit is still alive.
I don't want her spirit! I want her!
Is this the movie that you guys are talking about?
You don't think he's dead, do you?
And don't even think about anybody coming for you, because I never called them. Nobody knows you're here. And you better hope nothing happens to me. Because if I die...
It looks good.
You die. I know you've been out. Is this what you're looking for? Eventually, you'll come to accept the idea of being here.
Annie, whatever you're thinking about doing, please don't do it. Annie, for God's...
Shh, darling. Trust me.
God's sake.
It's for the best. Oh my God. God, I love you.
That looks so good. OMG. That looks so freaking good. Oh my god, that looks amazing. I feel like that sounds like something I would want to watch. Wow. That's crazy. The how she rewards and punishments is so. I'm gonna have to check it out. Actually, that sounds like something fun. Yes, that way we would create a real community for us instead of isolate. So you know. Yeah, you know, honestly, through YouTube, I have met a lot of wonderful people. Like, the channel has actually, I don't feel alone anymore at all. I really, really don't. I have met a lot of really wonderful people through YouTube. And let's see a little bit more about brainwashing, because this is super interesting. And I sent you a video earlier that's really good. I'm gonna check it out, chat. Thank you. So, have you guys ever watched content by the Academy of Ideas?
In 1950, with the support of China's communist regime, North Korea invaded South Korea to instigate the Korean War. In response to the invasion, the United Nations rallied troops from over 20 countries to fight on the side of South Korea. The United States, who at the time occupied South Korea and was its main source of financial and military support, sent 300,000 troops, which amounted to approximately 90% of the total troops organized by the UN. Soon after joining the war, the United States began to notice that something very strange was happening. Upon being released from prisoner of war camps, many American troops, instead of telling horrific tales of their time spent with the communists, preached the virtues of communism and the superiority of the communist way of life.
They were brainwashed.
Dumbfounded as to how the Chinese were able to transform these previously patriotic Americans into communists, the US government called on CIA operative Edward Hunter to investigate the phenomenon. Hunter coined the word brainwashing to describe what the Chinese were doing to the captured American troops. In his book Brainwashing, Hunter painted a harrowing picture, explaining that the Chinese were using brainwashing in order to create a slave race.
That's crazy.
The intent is to change a mind radically so that its owner becomes a living puppet, a human robot, without the atrocity being visible from the outside. The aim is to create a mechanism in flesh and blood, with new beliefs and new thought processes inserted into a captive body. What that amounts to is the search for a slave race that, unlike the slaves of olden times, can be trusted never to revolt, always to be amenable to orders, like an insect to its instincts.
Does that sound familiar? You know what I mean? It's like, when I remember that when during the gang stalking, like, all I thought about was gang stalking. Like, I literally felt that my consciousness wasn't a single place, and that everything around it was about gang stalking. I saw I had like gang stalking. Like, everything I thought, every second of the day, was about gang stalking. It just was. Which is the craziest thing. And it's like, I typically just, I have a busy mind, but it's never been that busy.
The Oxford English Dictionary defines brainwashing as the systematic and often forcible elimination from a person's mind of more established ideas so that another set of ideas may take their place. According to this definition, brainwashing can be described as the purposeful attempt to change an individual's ideas and beliefs. However, since everyone is bombarded on a daily basis with attempts to change their beliefs, brainwashing must be identified as a radical or extreme attempt to change an individual's beliefs and ideas.
It's like extreme propaganda.
As Kathleen Taylor pointed out in her book Brainwashing, The Science of Thought Control, the extremity of brainwashing can be elucidated by identifying two distinct characteristics unique to the victim of brainwashing. Firstly, one who is brainwashed adopts new beliefs and ideas that are drastically different from, and often completely antithetical to, their previous beliefs.
Does this sound familiar? Like, before gang stalking, I honestly felt like I was the friendliest person on the planet. So Rodrigo was saying, do you think if live London, it will help? If you like leave, like get out of? Or what do you mean? You know, I have talked about, like, with 3 people about gang stalking that are from London, which is super interesting. But like before gang stalking, it's like, okay, I like I was who I was, and like it's a new concept that exists, but like it's so insane. If you move city, so to be honest, look, I moved town, and it helped, but I didn't have to. The only thing that you have to change primarily is the people that surround you in gang stalking. Like, you have to literally just leave. It's the people. Like, gang stalking is something that happens because of people, and if you have to actively get rid of the people that are actively gang stalking you. Like, I have like 500 blocked phone numbers on my phone, and I'm not exaggerating. Moving can make you more vulnerable. New city, no one knows you, much easier to attack you. You don't have connections, etc. You know, now that you say that, I feel like you know, I feel better that I moved back here, because most of the gang stalking cannot happen if there's someone else with you most of the time. You know what I mean? If someone else that isn't a targeted individual and that cannot be indoctrinated into participating. So like, if you move in with your mom, you know, or with a family member, that would be incredibly helpful. Like someone that knows you for who you are, that they cannot be just talk trash about you too. So the thing is that when you're getting, honestly, I stopped talking to most of the people that I used to talk. I literally did that, and that stopped most of the gang stalking. It really, really did. It's just the people that you have to get out of, that you have to get rid of, and you have to make sure that that you're not susceptible to your house getting messed with, to your belongings getting sabotaged. You have to be incredibly careful, and you have to be really mindful of everything. It's insane. The primary reason that I'm good is because I have a house. That's the only reason. Like, I'm with my mom, you know, and the fact that she's here, you know, it just helps everything. Like, I'm not an easy target anymore because I'm always indoors. But look, Rodrigo, in the beginning of your gang, of when you leave, you are still, the thing is that your mind is pretty much messed with so much that there's going to be a point where you are not going to be able to differentiate between a person that has nothing to do with gang stalking and a person that is actually gang stalking you. The lines between normal people and gang stalker can get really blurred, especially if you are fresh out of a programming cycle or out of a lot of harassment. So you have to stay away from most people for a good while, and then you're gonna see that slowly you're gonna stop seeing the gang stalking. And when someone is gang stalking you, you're actually gonna be able to differentiate it between normal behavior. So it's crucially important for you to actually spend a long time by yourself, so that you can see what is actually like a headlight that is just normal headlight and a headlight that is meant to gang stalk you. You know, like if you have been targeted for several years, people are doing really 1 year. So you just literally figure it out that gang stalking is real. What is it that's happening? Like I sent you an email. So like if you don't like, you can tell me in the chat. Unless you want to put that here. Rodrigo, it's been 1 year with I hate to isolate. But you know, it's, to be honest, it is safer to be alone for a while than surrounded by people that you are not sure that they're your friends or not. And it's for your best interest. You have to do that for a couple of months. Hanging out with people when you are Oh, cool. So hanging out with people when you're actively being harassed is the worst thing that you can do. Chap is saying, I agree, you do have to stay away and stay low so the narcissist moves on to news reply, not reacting, and giving them access to them suffocates them. Yeah, you have to actively stay away from most people that can possibly be gang stalking you. If someone says anything weird, you just block them. Because when you're getting gang stalked, you're going to have a lot of people pretend to be your friend only to say something that will trigger you later. I'm gonna get some more water. I will be right back. So it's really important. Hang on. Let's see. So 7 months. So Chap says 7 months for me. I'm going to isolate for 3 to 5 years. No dating, no socializing, nothing. I know it's the worst thing, but I try to accept that I'm not free anymore. You know, let me tell you, most of the, you know, for me, it's gonna be a couple of years, to be honest. And I'm referring to like hanging out with people, primarily because primarily because I'm busy working. But look, in my personal experience, when like during the prime of my targeting, I tried fighting it, and I tried meeting new people, and there was a point where I got harassed so much that I wasn't able to differentiate between people that had their best interest in mind, that had my best interest in mind, or people that hung out with me only to F me over. And you kind of have to, I personally have to stay away, and I still need time to rebuild myself. Like I have to rebuild myself, and I have to sit down back in my power, you know. And I don't know how long that's gonna take, but it's gonna take as as long as I need it to last. It's gonna take as long as necessary, and it's more not it's not like a sacrifice. It's more like an investment. So it doesn't even have to be a deep isolation. It can be like an isolation from most people. Like be close to your family, be close to your mom, and nourish the relationships that you know that you are nourishing, that are people that you know that care about you. Focus on those relationships. Don't focus on the people on too many other relationships that are not close to you. Focus on your closest relationships, and isolate yourself from most of them, because when you're getting when you are targeted, you are actually going to have a lot of people trying to meet you. People are going to try to intersect you, and the thing is that most of these people are not going to be worth your time. And it's not an isolation. I'm assuming that is like a per basis, like per on case, like depending on the case. But like, are you getting harassed at work? Are they doing the thing with a cell phone? Are they doing the weird faces? Are they saying like, oh, when you do something? Or are they whispering things around you? What are they saying? What are they doing? This is so sweet. Oh my god.
Secondly, the brainwashed victim doesn't adopt these new beliefs gradually over a period of months or years, but instead in a very short time span, and a lot of the time even instantaneously.
Rodrigo is saying, I lost my job, but I'm ready to look for another one. I've been doing it. Okay. What did you quit your other job, or was it, or did you get harassed to the point where you quit? Was it gangstalking related?
The 20th century British psychiatrist William Sargent noted that when contemplating the phenomenon of brainwashing, he...
Guys, we have read that book here on the channel. Look, I have it here. Hang on.
I canceled my Midjourney subscription because this AI does everything I need for a one-time cost.
So, let me show you. So, this book, The Mechanics of Brainwashing and Indoctrination, is like one of the most incredible books. That is actually the reason that I was able to understand a lot about gang stalking, is because of this book. Look, William Sargent. That's what the guy is talking about. I didn't know he was a big psychologist, but it's his book that I have been reading, and what that I have read, and it helped me so much with the gang stalking. It helped so much with the entire concept of the indoctrination of gang stalking.
Let's... The person will be...
So we have here, I lost my job, but I'm ready to look for another one. Okay, the guy punched me in the face and lost control and got... You got punched and you got fired? Wow. Do you feel like it was a setup? Why would you get punched in the face at work?
Primed to accept new ideas, beliefs, and even a new way of life. William James, the 20th century philosopher, also identified intense emotional experiences as effective at inducing sudden conversions. Emotional occasions, especially violent ones, are extremely potent in precipitating mental rearrangements, The sudden and explosive ways in which love, jealousy, guilt, fear, remorse, or anger.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, man. That happened. I'm so sorry. That sucks. That really, really sucks.
Can seize upon one are known to everybody. Hope, happiness, security, resolve, emotions characteristic of conversion, can be equally explosive, and emotions that come in this explosive way seldom leave things as they found them. Nearly 200 years before Pavlov conducted his experiments, which
did they try to make you react, Rodrigo?
Would display to modern brainwashers the importance of stimulating intense emotions in their victim, John Wesley, an Anglican cleric and founder of the Methodist movement, intuitively grasped the importance of stimulating emotions in the proselytizing process. In his sermons, Wesley would convince the audience that on the off chance they met their end suddenly, without accepting the Lord into their life, they would burn in hell for eternity. Wesley's personality was so charismatic and his sermons so convincing that he was able to stimulate in his audience an intense feeling of fear and anxiety.
So
overloaded with emotional stress caused by envisioning eternal hellfire.
So here on the video, notice here that there were sermons that were being taught, like these preachers were giving sermons that would make people feel anxiety and fear. And this fear and anxiety is what made people more susceptible to indoctrination. Hence convincing people that directed energy weapons are real. When you are full of fear and you are confused and you feel anxiety for an extended period of time, you are more susceptible to indoctrination. And that is part of brainwashing, and that is exactly how gang stalking works.
A new way of life. William James, the 20th century philosopher, also identified intense emotional experiences as effective at inducing sudden conversions. Emotional occasions, especially violent ones, are extremely potent in precipitating mental rearrangements.
Did you hear that? So mental rearrangements are, I don't know, emotional occasions, especially violent ones, are extremely potent in precipitating mental arrangements. And you know, what is there such learning that a group of people are trying to drive you crazy?
And explosive ways in which love, jealousy, guilt, fear, remorse, or anger can seize upon one are known to everybody. Hope, happiness, security, resolve, emotions characteristic of conversion can be equally explosive, and emotions that come in this explosive way seldom leave things as they found them. Nearly 200 years before Pavlov conducted his experiments, which would display to modern brainwashers the importance of stimulating intense emotions in their victim, John Wesley, an Anglican cleric and founder of the Methodist movement, intuitively grasped the importance of stimulating emotions in the proselytizing process. In his sermons, Wesley would convince the audience that on the off chance they met their end suddenly, without accepting the Lord into their life, they would burn in hell for eternity.
That's insane.
Wesley's personality was so charismatic and his sermons so convincing that he was able to stimulate in his audience an intense feeling of fear and anxiety. Overloaded with emotional stress caused by envisioning eternal hellfire, many in Wesley's audience would literally collapse in a state of emotional exhaustion. As Wesley wrote in his journal, "While I was speaking, one before me dropped down as dead, and presently a second and a third. 5 others sunk down in half an hour, most of whom were in..."
So, when I was, the first day where I was actually, when the big manifestation of gang stalking demonstrated to me, and the moment that I said, dude, gang stalking is real, like there were people around me, you know, doing the grin and the hand signals, like 50 at one time inside the gym, and it totally caught me by surprise. So I remember that I ended up shaking, and I was in such a state of fear that I didn't know what to believe at that point in time. And I remember that I went outside and I felt like everything was fake. I felt that the chirping of the birds sounded robotic. I just began feeling like things were fake. I stopped trusting everything and everyone, and I just after that point I began thinking about gang stalking 24/7. It is the craziest thing, the craziest experience. So what do we have here? Hey, for Portugal. Hey, bunch of Portuguese people. Brasil. Muito bem. I feel words. I feel words even when I can't hear them. I can feel others' emotions, so gang stalking is very draining. I need a numbing agent. So yeah, gang stalking is very draining. It's like don't you feel like you already know when someone is a gang stalker? You kind of just feel it. I began trusting that instinct, and things totally began changing as soon as I began trusting my own instincts, which was the craziest thing ever. Crazy subliminal messages in that painting. Oh, I didn't see that. In this one, that were the feeling gets stronger. So yeah, exactly. We should be total sober. The people in the cauldron being boiled. Oh my god, that's true. That where the feeling gets stronger, so we should be sober. People in the cauldron being boiled. You're right. It was all way I used to cope. Yeah, it was insane.
Violent agonies. The pains as of hell came about them. The snares of death overtook them. After breaking down for emotional exhaustion, those in Wesley's audience became highly suggestible. Wesley took advantage of this state by offering his potential converts the possibility of saving their soul by walking the path to salvation. As he wrote, "In their trouble we called upon the Lord, and he gave us an answer of peace. One indeed continued an hour in strong pain, and 1 or 2 more for 3 days. But the rest were greatly comforted in that hour, and went away rejoicing and praising God." Through this technique of emotionally debilitating individuals with fear and then offering them salvation, Wesley was able to obtain innumerable converts. While the inducement of emotional collapse can be used,
it can be very pointed, like daggers. After they cut me 1,000 times, they always went back to wanting sex. Oh my god, that was here too. You know, that's true. The intimate relations are a big pulling, because that's how when you're intimate you become more vulnerable, and I feel that a lot of the actual gang stalking happened through those points.
used by political and religious leaders for the purpose of brainwashing individuals or attaining converts, emotional breakdowns also have potential therapeutic value.
Chap says, I just want to
Sargent
become
championed
a
the technique of purposely stimulating feelings of
You just
anger
want to live your
and
life.
anxiety in neurotic patients until an emotional collapse erased from their nervous system the neurotic thoughts and behaviors which had previously plagued them. However, while such a technique can be used for therapeutic purposes, Sargent recognized that in the wrong hands, such a technique is used to control, manipulate, and exploit individuals. And in the hands of those who lead society, and thus have power over the population, it can be a tool used for the purpose of mass brainwashing. Throughout history, fear has been used as possibly the chief means of social control. The Nazis readily instigated fear among the masses, continually stating that the Jews would, given the chance, annihilate the entire German population. For example, Hitler once warned the German people that the Jewish capitalist world enemy that confronts us has only one goal: to exterminate Germany and the German people.
That is kind of extreme.
In the modern day, things have not changed. Modern governments release daily reports of grave threats to national security, or of potential terrorists conjuring up plans to destroy us all. President George W. Bush once instilled fear into the population with the following warning: "The terrorist directive commands them to kill Christians and Jews, to kill all Americans, and make no distinctions among military and civilians, including women and children." The purpose of these warnings and daily news reports is to instill in the average citizen a state of continual fear. This state of fear, as we have seen throughout the lecture, renders the average citizen highly suggestible and increasingly ready to accept any government policy which promises safety from these dreadful threats.
So, fear, I feel like here, you know how many testimonies we have seen of people talking about how they would make to believe all these crazy things? Isn't it? If you guys it should be now abundantly clear because we have covered enough material about brainwashing, about methodologies, and they have all of these commonalities. Gang stalking and brainwashing have a lot of commonalities, which point in the same direction. Targeted individuals are brainwashed individuals. They are under a constant sense of fear. They're constantly being told a narrative, and it pretty much brainwashes targets. It doesn't only brainwash the targets, but it actually makes the target look out for gang stalking evidence. It convinces people that a headlight is equal to gang stalking harassment. A weird evil grin or a weird movement of the freaking eyebrows is evidence of gang stalking harassment. It is the craziest thing ever. So, gang stalking is literally brainwashing. It just is. And the fact that people can be made to believe that it can change people fundamentally, it's a lot easier to make someone believe that directed energy weapons are it would be just as easy to make someone believe that directed energy weapons are real than it is for someone to switch political parties.
H.L. Mencken wrote that the whole aim of practical politics,
we are under constant... What happened? Oh. We are under constant attack and bombarded with messaging, subtle, indirect, or direct through various mediums. Yeah. And the good thing is that it changed me. I don't think it was necessary. It made things way worse and harder. Yes. So direct energy weapons are not used in gang stalking. Just don't. They're not. I don't think it was necessary. It was harder. These weapons are real. Yes, and this is so thing, but I'm getting used to it. And this is so tiring, but I'm getting used to it. Yeah, the thing is that you don't want to be getting used to being tired all the time. You want to be rested, and you want to make sure that you want to actively push your mind into thinking something that you actually are gonna be. It's your mind. You should fill it with things that you want to be thinking about. You should be the one in control, not these losers, these psychopathic freak chihuahuas.
Is to keep the populace alarmed, and hence clamorous to be led to safety, by menacing it with an endless series of hobgoblins, all of them imaginary. Although we are all bombarded with attempts to transform us into continually fearful, anxious, and thus highly suggestible sheep, Sargent had some wisdom to impart to us. When subjected to these fear-provoking news reports and warnings of enemies who want to kill us all, Sargent stated that the best attitude to adopt is not fear, anger, or indignation, but instead indifference mixed with a bit of laughter over the ridiculousness of such attempts.
Gang stalking, baby. What? What do you mean?
Whoever can be roused either to fear or anger by politician, priest, or policeman is more easily led to accept the desired pattern of cooperation, even though this may violate his normal judgment. The obstacles that the religious or political proselytizer cannot overcome are indifference or detached, controlled and continued amusement on the part of the subject at the efforts being made to break him down, or win him over, or tempt him into argument. The safety of the free world seems therefore to lie in the cultivation not only of courage, moral virtue, and logic, but of humor. Humor which produces the well-balanced state in which emotional excess is laughed at as ugly and wasteful.
So listen here. No!
With all that which a person allows to...
I didn't mean this to happen. What the hell? Hang on.
appear, one may ask, what is it meant to hide? What should it I
wanted to see the last.
In 1950, with the support of proselytizer cannot overcome.
Really? Oh.
Not overcome are indifferent.
Okay, here we go. So this is what it says. Whoever can be roused to either fear or anger by a politician, priest, or policeman is more easily led to accept the desired pattern of cooperation. So, even though this may violate his normal judgment, the obstacles that the religious or political proselytzer, what the hell is that, proselytzer? What the hell is a proselytzer?
Proselytize.
Proselytize. Proselytizer. Convert or attempt to convert someone from one religion, belief, or opinion to proselytize. That's interesting. Okay, proselytation. Proselytation cannot overcome an indifference or detached. So if you are indifferent or detached, you cannot be controlled. The moment that someone is able to arouse emotions in you, that is when you are more susceptible to indoctrination. And could you tell me something on the part of the... Okay, so cannot overcome our indifference. The obstacles that the religious or political proselytizer cannot overcome are indifference or detached, controlled and continued amusement on the part of the subject at efforts being made to break him down or win him over or tempt him into argument. The safety of the free world seems therefore to lie in the cultivation not only of courage, moral virtue, and logic, but of humor. Humor, which produces well-balanced state in which emotional excess is laughed at as ugly and wasteful. So humor, just laugh at all the BS of people. It traumatized me and changed my sexuality and that's crazy. Okay, so let's check out one more. Yes, but what can I do? As to do what I do when I can. Let's see. Proselytize. That's such a good word. Let's see. I feel like... Oh, wow. You know, the same thing happened to me when I would not be like messing around as in illicit substances or having spicy things with people. I would get my computer stolen, or I would get my Nintendo Switch stolen. something people would be messing with me when I would like not be engaging. You know, it was crazy. I had a bunch of them tell me, go on Grinder, go on Grinder. I had a bunch of them, you know, I would literally just walk on the street and someone would like pull out a crack pipe. Like for real. And then like they would pull it out as soon as I would turn, and then they would put it away. Like only so that I would see it. It's insane. It's really, really insane. Oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna finish the stream right now, guys. I'm tired as hell. Um, it's weird. Like I haven't even played any video games, like at all today. I was just literally tired as hell. So yeah, it was insane. Tomorrow, I'm just gonna, if you guys want to go on the live, I'm just gonna stretch. You know, I was thinking, I want to live stream every day, with exercise and with this, in order to get the viewers, the subscribers, higher, faster. If you guys have any questions or any type of commentary that you guys like me to cover in regards to gang stalking, brainwashing, manipulation, narcissism, any of those, is more than welcome. You guys have my email, and you guys please feel free to message me anytime, or comment on any of my videos. If there is any topic about gang stalking that you guys want to cover on any of the videos, or do you guys want me to cover, please write it anywhere on my channel or to my email. Lastly, yeah. By the way, guys, we got to 1.1 million views. We got an extra 100,000 views in like 1 week, guys. So the gang stalking playbook is actually doing its thing. And so things as of now are going well. And so my screen name is Mind's Eye. FN_Mind's Eye. That's my Instagram. Thanks. Oh, no, you're welcome. So I try to do these as at night, just because I feel like it's a nice calm down, because in the morning I live stream in the morning when working out, and those are crazy. Oh my god. Let's see. So by the way, if you guys want to add me on Instagram, it's on the screen. And you guys can feel free to message me there too. Rodrigo Gropelli. Double L. Oh, with a G. Okay, cool. Just added you. Cool. All right, guys. So, guys, please have a good night. I will see you guys tomorrow. Please take care. Thank you for being here in the live. Have an amazing evening. Take care, and don't eat junk food, okay? Because then you guys are gonna get fat. I'm just kidding. Do you guys know that I say that a lot, all right? So don't take any of that personal. That's just how I joke around. Nice meeting you guys. Bye, chap.